choice. Answers over what caused a horror buggy crash. Local businesses try to make mining boom again. And a heartfelt thanks from a tough-as-nails bushy.
Across Mackay, the Whitsundays and the coalfields, this is 7 Local News with Brough.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. Drug testing experts say the ice epidemic has spread deep into our region, with many noticing a rise in positive methamphetamine tests. Regional areas are calling for more support groups to help deal with the growing problem. Police have found faulty brakes and overloading caused a serious buggy crash on Hamilton Island earlier this year. 9 people were seriously injured when the overcrowded buggy slammed into another. 2 people have been fined over the smash. We're being warned to prepare, with damaging winds and heavy rainfall likely to hit our region in the next 24 hours. The Weather Bureau issued a severe weather warning from the coalfields to the Whitsundays. The worst is expected tomorrow and Saturday. Fire crews spent nearly 6 hours containing a large grass fire near the Leap today. It broke out just after 9 this morning. Smoke could be seen from kilometres away. Organisers of this year's QME exhibition say the low number of displays is evidence of the mining industry's slump. There are fewer than half the number of exhibitors than when the event was last held in 2014. Farmer attacked by a wild boar on a Timbra property last month has thanked his rescuers for keeping him alive. Graham Ware has been released from hospital, but there's still a long way to go until he fully recovers from his horrific injuries. We'll take a break in a moment. We'll have a look at what's happening around our region over the weekend. And students indulge their inner creativity at Whitsunday Voices. Nice having you with us on 7 News. Mackay RSPCA workers have been left devastated after the facility was broken into overnight. Thieves smashed windows and locks, damaging offices and destroying a safe. Some of Australia's best-known authors have descended on Mackay, offering inspiration to the next generation of writers. More than 5,000 bookworms came together for the popular Whitsunday Youth Voices Festival. Well, let's have a look now what's happening around our region for the weekend. Here's Kathleen Price.
Thanks, Rob. Well, the Mackay Mazda Festival of Arts has been going off this week, and the Metropolis pop-up tent in front of the council building is the place to be over the next few nights. I've got all the details now and out and about. Catch you then, Kathleen. Thank you very much. Gavin Cooper's Origin debut, Nath. Well, it had it all, mate, didn't it?
Certainly did, Brough. Look, the Cowboy, of course, scored for Queensland. And while New South Wales won, Jonathan Thurston labelled the Blues disrespectful for their post-match antics. We'll have plenty more on that next, as Kirsten Dwyer's hockey-mad family shares her journey to the Rio Olympics. Welcome back to 7 News. Cowboy Gavin Cooper is adamant last night's taste of State of Origin won't be his last, following the 30-year-old's long-awaited debut. The Queensland forward scored a dream try, but it was New South Wales who avoided a series whitewash in another controversial match, with Jonathan Thurston labelling the Blues disrespectful for what they did post-match. Meanwhile, Cowboy Lachlan Coote has just started his NRL judiciary hearing for a contrary conduct charge stemming from Monday night's loss to Canberra. Well, Mackay's Kirsten Dwyer had to overcome quite a few setbacks to be named in the Australian team for next month's Rio Olympics. But her family couldn't be prouder, with the Dwyers a staple on the local hockey scene. What a journey indeed, Broughy. And just back to Origin, I'm pretty sure Paul Gallen earlier in the week said Queensland were bad winners. What would that make the Blues from last night?
I'm thinking it's a nice bit of videotape for next year.
Yeah, how long till game 1 next year? Get it down.
Fair bit of motivation there, mate. Good on you, Nate. Lives along with the weather. Looks like rain about tonight. Scotty Hilly with the fishing report. We're back soon here on 7.
G'day, Livio Regano with tonight's weather. Well, it's getting pretty cold out there. Massive blanket of cloud has completely obliterated the sun. There isn't a single spot in Queensland where it hasn't started raining at least a little bit, and there's plenty more rain coming tomorrow and likely into the weekend as well. Temperatures today across the Central Coast and Highlands. The range in Mackay, only 19 degrees at top. Afternoon humidity 46%. Proserpine 19 as well. On the coalfields, would you believe 12 degrees at Claremont? That's going to be close to a record. At the satellite loop now, you can see a massive band of cloud has covered the state of Queensland entirely. It's due to an upper level low pressure system that's constantly developing and intensifying, and it will be slow moving, and it will bring rain to all of Queensland over the next 2 days, but particularly the central area where a severe weather warning's been issued. If you look at today's chart, you'll see why it's been so cold. An unusual situation of cold southerly winds underrunning a thick blanket of cloud. Cold southerlies usually bring clear skies, so the sun hasn't had a chance to heat up the ground. We've had maxes of 8.5 degrees at Roma, which has to be an all-time record, and there's a couple of others as well. On tomorrow's chart, on top of the upper level low producing widespread rain across Queensland, you can also see this offshore trough accentuating the winds along the coast, for which there's also a warning. Now the latest from the Weather Bureau, boating forecast for Mackay waters. Definitely not a great day on the water with a strong wind warning in place. Things should ease a little over the weekend, but you may want to make other plans. Now, if you're keen to get out there, low tides for Hay Point and Mackay out of harbour just before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, with lows around lunchtime. Central Coast and Whitsundays. In southern parts, we've got a severe weather warning for heavy rainfall and damaging wind. Mackay 12 up to 20 degrees, Bowen also 20. In the Central Highlands and coalfields, there's also that severe weather warning, with conditions expected to deteriorate during the day. Emerald, just 14 degrees. Claremont also 14 and Mooraba 15. Very cold. Looking ahead for Mackay, severe weather warning remains in place until at least Saturday. Heavy rain and wind gusts as predicted. I've had a request from Joe Kane to explain mirages, the strange images of shimmering water and upside-down mountains often seen over the dry plains of inland Australia. It's an optical illusion that occurs when light from a distant object gets reflected off a hot or cold air boundary before it gets to our eyes, making it look like it's hanging upside down in mid-air. Ancient seafarers apparently used mirages to catch a glimpse of faraway lands well before they appeared above the horizon, which is pretty clever, I think. Thanks, Joe, for the question, and thank you all for your loyal patronage to 7. Now it's over to Scott Hillier with the fishing report.
Yeah, good on you, Livio. Well, wind and rain forecast for the weekend isn't ideal if you're planning on wetting a line. Tip for the diehards will be to find a little spot tucked in out of the breeze. Good run on the tide. That full mid is on the way, so that's a bit of saving grace. Here's a couple of tips. I'll be back here next Thursday night. 7 local news. Have a top weekend.
Thank you very much, Scotty. Good on you, mate. You have a nice weekend. Thanks for your company, folks. Just a reminder, we have a replay of our news over on 7:2 coming up in a moment. From the team, take care. Good night.
It's 7 o'clock.